Am I just fooling myself that she'll stop the pain? Living without her, I go insane.
Hey guys, KiwiSylveon, and welcome back to the Demon World before the Damien's out. In the last episode, oh boy, shit went down a little bit, but anyway.
Impossible! How is liberating my kind impossible?
I know you wish to change the caste system, and I do as well, but it cannot be done overnight. Can you understand the consequences of such a sudden change?
What does it matter? We are days away from taking control of this world, and what we demand will become ultimate law. The world will listen and obey every word we say, every word you say.
You overestimate the power we would have, Rabbit.
So frozen. What was happening? I thought Diana was with Rabbit and wanting change. Why would she hesitate? Rabbit was fighting for a just cause. The arguing continued.
No, I am not overestimating our power. I know exactly what we should be able to accomplish. You are just too afraid to go through with it.
Afraid? Of course I'm afraid. Do you know what a sudden change in the system would do to everyone? What it would do to your kind?
We would be free.
You would be slaughtered!
Hello. As Diana's voice suddenly boomed, the air began to quake from it. I stared as Diana's form suddenly became covered in black and purple flames, glowing gold eyes peering toward the suddenly fearful Rabbit.
Not everyone will be as kind as I am. Not everyone will unlock the chains of your people's limbs just because I demand it. What you demand will sign the death wish of every animal demon on this godforsaken plane. You know what happened in the human world when the slaves of that world demanded their freedom? Millions were slaughtered, and they are still not equal to other humans. Why not learn that lesson?
I was astonished. Was Diana seriously comparing animal demons to slaves of the human world class? Rabbit stared, still fearful of the suddenly intimidating Diana, but watched Diana slowly calm down and let out a sigh.
I know that what I ask is beyond horrid, but you need to understand. A ruler can rule, but the people beneath them have voices and hands of their own, strong enough to disobey and do as they desire. I may demand the immediate liberation of your kind, but they may see liberation as a call to slaughter out of desperation to keep what they believe is theirs. I swear on my bloodline that I will fix this caste system, but you cannot demand that I force it overnight unless you desire the blood of your kind to spill over the earth.
Without giving Rabbit a chance to respond, Diana turned and marched towards the exit. Before I could react, she reached the doorway, seeing me and stopping in her track. She didn't say anything. She simply arced around me and left down the hall, lowering her head as she vanished around a corner. I turned back to the room to see that Rabbit turn to face out of one of the large windows, gripping her staff to her body and biting her lower lip. This must have been so hard on her, but I wasn't sure exactly side with. Both had valid points. Rabbit and the other animal demons deserved to be free, but what if Diana was right? Rabbit's people would be killed the minute Diana's liberating demand left her mouth. Even worse, they'd never even be able to reach that equality Rabbit wanted. I could only grimace at the situation. It was a tough one, and who knew where it would go after the war. I was positive it would work out in the end, but I knew that it would be a tough battle to face regardless of what they decided to do. Taking a breath, I walked in and made my way towards Rabbit as she lowered her head, placing a hand on her shoulder. Are you okay?
No. No, I am not.
Rabbit took a deep breath and shook her head, wiping her eyes and smiling her usually kind smile to me, making me frown a bit at the sight.
I just thought that I could make a change in this war. But apparently not.
Rabbit. Rabbit stared at me, searching for something in my eyes before laying out a sign, waving her staff and forming a bluish mist in her hand. As it finally disappeared, it revealed something I didn't expect to see. In Rabbit's hand was a black and red iron collar, broken around the tag and the back. Let me see. Oh my god. Shit. That wasn't what sent a wave of shock down my spine, however. Around the inner border were metal spikes, dulled from rust and time, but I could tell that at one point they had been sharp enough to pierce the wearer's neck. What is this? Rabbit placed it on the windowsill with a sigh, staring intently at it in remembrance.
That was my breeding collar.
Breeding collar? I stared wide-eyed at Rabbit, understanding or at least putting together what could have meant. She was a slave for breeding? As I stared, Rabbit let out a sad chuckle and shook her head.
I was born into a large family of animal demons. Rabbits like myself. However, we weren't born to have normal lives. We were bred to become slaves and servants to people like Diana.
I couldn't believe it. Did Diana own her at one point? It was hard to think about, but Rabbit continued.
I was given just enough to live and survive by my parents until I became an adult. Then I was taken to a breeding brothel with a handful of my brothers and sisters. They said that my magic was desirable to pass to offspring. As part of the membership, they welded this onto my neck, hoping to keep me from being disobedient.
I instinctively rubbed my neck, disgusted at the story, despite knowing that she was going to be okay in the end.
Of course, when they found out that I was still a virgin, they decided to instead use me to stimulate their clients and male slaves.
Rabbit ran her hands along her mask that covered her mouth, shutting her eyes and tracing lines over her cheeks down to her chin.
The day they cut open my mouth was the day Diana rescued me from captivity. I didn't think I was going to survive, let alone have my face become normal ever again. But Diana did everything she could to heal my wounds and reverse what my keepers did to me.
Oh, Rabbit. At that moment, Rabbit slipped 2 fingers into her mask and lowered it, revealing 2 scars that traveled from each edge of her lips, across her cheeks like a wide smile, and 2 more scars down her jaw, like a puppet's mouth. I covered my mouth, unable to form words, but unable to stop the gasp that erupted from my throat at the sight. Rabbit quickly covered her mouth with her mask again, and looked out the window in longing.
I was brought back here with all of the slaves Diana had freed, and was given care. I saw a deep compassion in Diana. She cared about people below her status, and wanted everyone to be equal and free. So I joined the rebellion, and eventually became a leader alongside her.
Slowly, Rabbit's eyes began to turn from warm and longing to cold and angered.
At least that's what I thought.
What do you mean? Rabbit looked at me and gripped her staff in a white-knuckle grip, gritting her teeth before speaking and answering my question.
As soon as this war is over, Diana will take over and become queen of this world, unifying everyone under her banner. However, with that kind of power, she can change the way my people are treated. But she refuses to use her power to do so. She doesn't understand what we have gone through, what my people have had to endure for eons. We are bred to be slaves, servants, war fodder, and we have no say in the matter. We deserve our freedom. We deserve to be free. We should not be forced to wait for her to come around to it.
Rabbit was very passionate about her desire to help demonkind. It was beyond admirable. However, Diana's warning echoed in my mind, reminding me of what she predicted if she decided to do as Rabbit asked. It was a difficult decision to be in. I understood Rabbit perfectly, but I also became fearful of Diana's prediction. The demon world was a very different playing field than the human world, so I expected demons to be more ruthless about their traditions. It was horrid to think about, but the situation revolved around both ends of the risk spectrum. It was right, but it could be deadly. Rabbit shook her head, letting out a sigh.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't be telling you this. It was a private matter, and...
It's alright. I understand perfectly. The situation was indeed a mess, but something told me that they would all be able to figure it out. Rabbit and Diana were smart women, after all. Rabbit looked at me in surprise before smiling slightly and nodding.
Right.
Rabbit finally shook her head and let out a sigh.
Well, now that I'm done with my, business, shall we get to training?
With a nod from me, we spent the day forgetting about what had happened and focused on working on my stamina and power with my animal guardian. It became easier to direct it, and it became intelligent enough to defend me if something tried to sneak up behind me. I was thankful for my new companion and felt ready for the siege ahead. I trekked to my room, letting the day fade back into my memories as I remembered Diana's words to Damien. She would have a ritual set up for him if he wanted to be human, but the choice was his. Part of me screamed to stop him. The risk of his life wasn't worth it, but it was something he desired more than anything. The fix seemed simple, but it was deadly. To use the man I love over something trivial. But was it trivial?
Of course it is.
I wasn't surprised anymore, glaring at the floor as the voice made themselves known in my head.
He's being selfish. Why be a human when he could be happy with you as a demon? Why does this change have to happen?
It's what he wants.
But what do you want? You're the one about to sign your life away to him forever and ever. Shouldn't your opinion matter whether he becomes a human or stays a demon?
My mind began to agree, but wasn't that selfish within itself? Was I truly that important to where I was allowed to decide Damien's choices because I was his soon-to-be wife? I continued forward, letting the dark chuckle from the voice reverberate in my mind. Reverberate in my head into a simple echo. This was my choice, and the voice needed to stay out of it. Whatever it was. I would deal with it in due time. For now, my focus was on Damien. I reached our room to see Damien standing by the door, obviously waiting for me. As he caught sight of me, he smiled slightly and walked over, meeting me halfway.
Hey.
Hey. I couldn't mask the worry in my voice. I was nervous, frightened beyond anything else about this. There was a lot at stake, and I became witness to and potential victim to it all within each minute that passed. But would Damien listen? Would he understand? Would he do? What would he do if I voiced my worries? Would he give a damn about the risk? Did he give a damn? I gazed into his eyes, seeing a hopeful fire burn within them. His answer was clear, while mine wasn't. It was completely uncomfortable to be in my skin, but I had to accept that this was an obstacle we had to face one way or another. Damien took up my hand and held them to his chest.
Would you be upset with me if I went through with it?
A part of me felt like screaming, begging for him to reconsider. The other part of me simply wanted to shake my head and accept what was about to occur. I was completely torn. I gripped onto Damien's hands, clinging for something to soothe me, make me feel at ease. When nothing came, I scrambled and tried to answer him. If it makes you happy, then do it. I had to accept it. It wasn't my choice to make after all. It wasn't fair to Damien to demand that he change his mind for me. Besides, I loved him no matter what. Human or demon, he was still the man I loved. I stared into Damien's eyes as I gripped his hands and hugged them to me lovingly. I could see the pure joy in Damien's eyes as he stared down at me, tears lacing the edges. I love you no matter what you are. If you truly wish to be human, then let's do everything we can to make that happen. Before I let Damien reply, however, I brought his hands to my lips, kissing over them with a now worried expression. I was still scared. I could lose him. But please, please, don't you dare die on me. I can't bear to live without you. Damien nodded and leaned in, kissing over my forehead gingerly.
I will do everything I can to survive it.
A wave of relief washed over me just from his words. Maybe he wasn't throwing me to calm down, or maybe his love simply reassured me that everything would be alright. Either way, this was happening. I looked up at him and kissed his cheek, feeling him lovingly nuzzle into my palm. Then, let's tell Diana. That smile danced along Damien's lips before he wrapped his arms around me and buried his head in my shoulder. I could hear him whimper a bit in happiness as I wrapped my arms around him, pulling him close.
Thank you.
I could faintly hear the voice in my head scoff.
Wow, you're really going to let him die. How sad. I guess you'll have to prepare a funeral instead of a wedding.
I rolled my eyes and held Damien tighter. I wouldn't listen to it anymore. I believed in our love more than anything. We would be okay. The 2 days that followed came filled with work from Diana and her group. Upon Damien's request, Diana ordered a massive search for everything needed for the transmutation ritual that would normally have been used to make a human a demon. The worry of the ritual bubbled in my core, but I was going to be alright. This was something Damien and I decided together, and this was going to make Damien happy. That was all that mattered in the end. Of course, the experience wouldn't have been great, even without the lovely voice in my head trying to convince me otherwise. I settled that the voice was some form of worry, some sort of regret that I was holding that morphed to represent Diana, the one that had placed the worry that was there years ago. I would beat it out as soon as Damien returned to me as a human. As the 7th day arrived, the ritual was prepared and ready for us. The others gave us their own concerns and wishes, hoping for the best regardless of what happened. We were positive that we would be okay. Oh, I could see Sam and them going, "Don't you dare fucking die on us." This would be for naught if you died. Fuck you guys. Meanwhile, Carrie and the others would be like, "We have faith and we love you. Don't you dare go. We will bring you back and kick you in the butt if you do." Or at least that would be somebody. Entering the war room, Diana looked over at the pair of us, nodding and stepping away from the table. On it were arranged purple and gold candles, all lit with black but somehow illuminating flames that flickered in the air gently. It seemed mystical and shadow-like, but if this was how it was done, then it was how it was done. There was space in the center of the table for a body to lay down within the circle of candles, making it clear what had to happen. Diane gestured to the table, looking to Damien and pointed to the large space between the arranged candles.
Lie down when you are ready.
Damien nodded before turning to me and smiling, taking my hand and kissing it.
You'll be here when it's over, right?
I nodded, smiling up at him and kissing his hand in return. I will. I promise. A smile was exchanged between us before Damien looked over at Diana and walked to the table, stepping on a block that was placed for him near the table to let him climb up with ease. As Damien sat on the table, Diana walked over to me and took my hand, guiding me towards the table as well. Huh?
A theory. Indulge me.
I watched as Diana guided me to a chair beside the table, letting me sit on it before taking Damien's in my hands and clasping them together.
This is part of the ritual?
I hope so.
No, but it's a theory I have that might help.
Diana closed her eyes and wrapped her hands around Damien's and mine, letting a soft purple glow emanate from them and circle around our hands.
You are human and are full of energy. If something falters, we can use your energy to rekindle it and resume the ritual.
Fear sank into my core, remembering the risks of this transformation. But at least Diana was trying to find ways to make this ritual work. It was rather thoughtful. Damien smiled at me before laying his head back and staring at the ceiling. I squeezed his hand as Diana removed her hands from her clasped ones. Purple magic seemed to dance around our hands as I smiled back at Damien.
Ready?
Damien and I nodded at the same time before both of us closed our eyes. I could hear Diana step back and mutter under her breath some sort of Latin incantation I couldn't dissect. As she did, the energy around the room began to pulse and wave like an ocean in a storm. The air began to brush against my skin, causing me to look down at Damien, seeing the black fire around the candles around him intensify in their illumination. I tightened my hold on Damien's hand and shut my eyes again, desperate and hopeful. This had to work. It had to.
It won't work.
In the darkness of my mind, the voice appeared, making me grimace. Leave me alone.
I'm telling the truth. It won't work. He'll die and you'll be all alone. All because you wanted to make him...
Shut up! My mental shout made the voice silence itself. I had had enough of its torment, its teasing and prodding. Nothing was going to go wrong. I glared into the dark, gritting my teeth. We're going to be fine. Damien will be human, and we will leave this world for good. I took in a breath and focused myself, remaining calm and hopeful. I know what you are.
Then say it. Make me believe it.
I stared into the dark. I felt a small smile greet my lips. It was clear who the voice was now. You're my worries, my doubts. You are my emotions intensified and transformed into some sort of haunting being in my head. His silence became my confirmation. I had personified my worries and my doubts, and they had become a voice in my head, trying to guide me towards the wrong choices. As I was magically inclined, it became an actual shadow that haunted my thoughts and dreams, feeding off my fear and dread and becoming a part of me I couldn't shake off easily. However, now I could. With this transformation, I would finally destroy it. I was wrong to doubt Damien. I was wrong to doubt myself. This is what we need, and nothing is going to keep us from the goal we want to achieve. We will defeat the human lord, go home, and live happy lives together as humans. I wanted to be firm. I wanted to stand strong. As I finished speaking, however, the voice simply chuckled.
But if Damien becomes a human, he'll die at the demon lord's hands.
I gasped as my memories of my nightmare flashed before my eyes. Damien was a human in the nightmare, dying by sacrificing himself for my sake. Simple realizations shook my core, making me fearful once again. If Damien became human, I'd lose him anyway. My soul became heavy and racked with doubt.
There we are. You cannot win this little battle with me. Either way, you lose.
Think of Damien, duh. I began to flood my mind with thoughts of Damien, of our love in the human world. We were so happy and joyous together, forgetting the worries of the world and simply living with each other. There was no greater love story than the story I had lived with him and would continue to live with him until the end of time.
No!
Damien and Diana's voice ripped me from my thoughts. Gasping at the sight I became witness to upon opening my eyes. Damien's body became engulfed in the black flames from the candles, the flame wrapping around his body like a cocoon of chain. Damien!
Focus your energy and save him!
I slammed my free hand into the hand I was clasping tightly, uncaring that the flames were licking his knee well. I dug my hands into his hand, shutting my hands tightly. Don't leave me, please. Take me instead! I wasn't going to let death take him. If death was taking anyone, it would be me. The flames, as if they accepted my terms, quickly began to snake off of Damien's body and up his hand to me, wrapping me in their tight embrace and burning over my skin.
No!
The flames began to encase us, binding my nerves in endless pains and wrapping my mind in agony. In the last attempt to live, Damien sat up and wrapped his arms around me, clinging to me tightly.
I won't let you go!
I winced through the pain between as it gripped Damien in return, the flames intensifying in our embrace. I won't let you go either. I was in tears, hoping deep within my heart that we would live. I loved him and he loved me. We needed to survive. In a burst of white light, Damien and I were suddenly pushed from each other.
Ah!
The light became blinding. My body felt warm, but there was suddenly no pain. There was no fire around me, no damage done. I was just wrapped in the white light. Was I dead? My lungs still took in air, and my heart was still beating, and my skin felt as warm. I was alive. Then what had happened? Slowly the light faded from the room, revealing the war room once again. I had fallen to the ground, aches rushing through my body as I looked around. What did we do? Hello? As my eyes locked onto Damien, I gasped, seeing him floating in the air with the large black orb floating in front of his body. His eyes were lifeless, but his skin was still saturated with life. Damien! Diana's voice forced me to look over, gasping as she glared hard at Damien and held out her hand at the orb in front of him. The orb began to trickle in inky black energy that danced through the air and sailed toward Diana's hand, burning into her palm and fading into her skin. She winced as the veins within her purple-tinted skin began to glow a black color, snaking through her bloodstream through her hand. As the black energy left the orb began to lighten from a pure black to a silver to finally a white. This was happening. Damien was becoming human. As the orb finally developed a pure white color, the orb floated into Damien's body and made him gasp out for air, eyes finally brimming with life. Damien! Damien fell forward, causing me to reach out and capture him in my arms. He instinctively wrapped his arms around me and toppled over, landing with me on the floor and him on top of me. Oof! Despite the pain in my body, I could feel Damien breathing, hear his heart beating, see his eyes as they looked down at me in complete shock and disbelief. I felt surprise run through my own mind and emotions. We did it. We had done it. I lifted a weak arm and cupped Damien's cheek, seeing him take everything in. Damien? Are you okay? I was sure he was lost on what to say. I was as well. I felt tears gather in my eyes as I wrapped my arms around him and hugged him tightly. You're alive. And human. I could feel it in my soul. He was a human, like me. He had gotten his wish and he was alive to see it. Damien began to shudder in my arms, agreeing with my statement, and hugged me tightly, crying into my shoulder. I thanked every deity I knew, every star in the sky. It worked. It really worked. I looked over at Diana to see her form a large gem in her unaffected hand and slam it into her palm, directly over the sofa of the black veins that dancing up her arm. They slowly stopped their ascent up her arm and began to trickle down into the gem. The jewel that was once pure and clear like a cut diamond became black like an onyx. At last, the black energy faded from Diana. She toppled over and gripped the gem to her chest, making sure not to land on it.
Gah! Damn it all!
I couldn't help but stop the happy laughter that erupted from me at the realization of it all. Everything was okay now. We were all right. Damien lifted up his head and slowly pulled me up to where we were both sitting up, wiping his eyes and smiling from ear to ear at me in pure happiness. I smiled and leaned in, kissing his nose gently. We did it. Damien nodded and hugged me to him before looking over Diana, seeing her look up with an unamused grimace.
You almost lost your lives. And you're smiling.
Yep. We're crazy. Damien and I looked at each other before Damien let out a small breath and hugged me to his side.
Humans are always risking their lives. You wouldn't understand.
I laughed as did Damien while Diana rolled her eyes and slowly stood up, still gripping the gem in her hand. As we stood, Diana tossed the gem at Damien.
Huh? What is this?
Your weapon against the Demon Lord. That gem holds all of your powers, and is slowly intensifying its power. Break it, and you'll be able to use your powers one last time at full potential.
I stared wide-eyed at Diana. Where did this come from? Diana looked back at me and crossed her arms, raising an eyebrow.
You're not the only one who saw Damien's fate in a dream. I would rather not see another person die at the Demon Lord's hands, no matter who it is, and I'd rather not be blamed for it.
Oh, so Diana had seen it too? She let us sigh and began to walk towards the exit of the room, most likely drained from the experience. Go fuck Ceros. Okay, bye.
We head out in the morning. I will brief everyone of the plan once we get to the Demon Lord's castle.
With that, Diana left us alone. Damien gripped me and looked down at me, cradling the gem in his hand in amazement.
So, we're set.
I nodded happily. Yeah. Our private moment was interrupted by the rushing of the incubi and their wives into the room, most likely being let in by Diana after she left.
Everything good?
Lauren! Damien and I looked at each other in shock before nodding to the group, hugging each other lovingly. Yep, just two humans cuddling. The group seemed to be excited at the news, gathering around us and visually checking us for any wounds or bruises. To my surprise as well, there were none, even after the attack from the black flames. Diana really pulled through. Damien, now being crowded, pushed everyone back, pocketing the gem.
We're okay. We're okay.
We still need to check on you, Damien, to make sure.
Posh.
Be nice to your baby brother. I giggled and stepped away from Damien, kissing his cheek. I was exhausted and I needed to get back to bed before I passed out in Damien's arm from the whole ordeal. Let them check you out, Damien. I'll be in the room. Damien stared before nodding, understanding that I needed a rest, before surrendering himself to the scanning eyes of his brothers. I took that moment to wave to the others and sneak out toward my room. I began to make my way back to my room, but I stopped as I heard the sound of whispered voices sneak through a barely opened door. Oh, this again. Woo! I don't remember! I'm not killing Diana again. That was too heartbreaking. I'm not going through the heartbreak again. But I want rabbits. I'm not doing the breaking of the heart.
Tonight is our last night here.
Yeah. We held each other locked in. Yay. Make love to your man, bitch. I wrapped my arms tightly around Damien, burying my hands in his orange hair as he slowly encircled his arms around my waist. Damien pulled me close, knowing exactly what I wanted to do. Aww. Damien slowly stepped us back towards the bed and fell forward onto it, pinning me down into the mattress with his body as he claimed my lips with his own. I combed my fingers through his hair lovingly. Apparently that's a turn on too if you look at the wiki. He is turned on by people running their hands through his hair. So, yay. Each touch of his fingers embedded themselves in my memory. As I took in his scent, his warmth, his kisses over my skin, I barely felt him slowly ease my legs apart and kneel between them as he danced his tongue against mine. French kissing, woo! A part of me, however, felt a bit bold. I wrapped my arms and legs around Damien before rolling us to where I straddled his hips, surprising him. As he looked up at me in shock, I smirked down at him lovingly. You've worked so hard, Damien. Let me reward you. Damien gulped slightly, taking in this new turn of events, before I leaned in and kissed him ever so sweetly, brushing my hands over his chest and feeling his skin beneath my fingers. As he quaked beneath me, I felt a rush of pride run through me. I liked this a bit. I would explore it further, undressing us as slow as possible, grinding myself against him. His hands, not bound anywhere, crashed over the skin available to him as his eyes became lost in my form. While a mild form of shyness rushed through me, I had to run through with the mood. I wouldn't let myself get out of this swing of the heat between us, even as his hands rubbed against every weak spot I had. As it became unbearable to deny ourselves our carnal needs any longer, I am reading like 5 words ahead, we ravished each other and finally made love, gripping to each other and letting our moans become lost in each other's mouths and shoulders. Damien's hands combed over my back as I dragged my fingers along his chest, seeing the red welts of my dragging slightly form over his skin. It was erotic to see, but as Damien's hands locked themselves onto my hips and began to guide our rhythm, I became lost in the pleasure within me instead. The bed creaking only became louder and faster and rougher we became. Well, good thing they're on the opposite side of the castle. But our neighbors are... Wait. Maybe our neighbors will be like, God damn it. This is the 3rd night. Stop! We weren't caring who was around us or who would hear us. We were dancing through euphoria together and we weren't going to be stopped. It was perfect ecstasy from beginning to end. When Damien wrapped his arms around me and held me close, both of us quaking in our embrace. I could only stare into Damien's gorgeous purple and blue eyes, becoming lost in them as exhaustion began to crawl through me. I love you, Damien. Forever.
I love you too. My life is yours.
God damn it, Jonah. We both passed out in each other's arms, lost in our bliss. The road didn't matter until the morning, but even then we knew we'd be alright. Woo! Yep.
If you are indeed attacked, you need to defend.
What? Are you insane?
When you get to the castle,
She'll be fine. She has a way to defend herself.
And my way to defend myself is to end this episode. Anyway, remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!